Sup Shredders, my name is Logan, aka Spiderhands, and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we're going to be reviewing an album from an act named Strat titled Dvlpmnt. And if we switch over to here, you can see this is going to be a bit of a video. You can probably see by the length of the video that it's a long one, primarily because we're going to be reviewing literally every single song off of this album, from start till finish. It's been a long time since I reviewed an album of this length. I think the last time was an hour or so, but I've also reviewed albums that are like 30 tracks long, so I'm looking forward to this. Should be good. I like listening to new artists, and I'm happy to give everyone a first chance, have a give it a good go. So we're going to listen through this album start to finish, beginning with the intro fittingly, and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go.
And coming from a small city, you know, some of us, we may have big dreams, but because of where we come from, we feel like we're bound or shackled to that what we were born into, that's what it has to be for us for the rest of our life.
Oh.
But whatever your dreams and aspirations are, you can achieve those, you can be that. Some of my teachers or school classmates, if I tell them I was going to be a professional fighter, you don't think they looked at me crazy? I feel like I could go to the bright lights and still make noise and do something out there. Some bumps and bruises along the way, for those of you who know me and know my story.
Really great sound design so far.
From the age of 9, this is all I ever wanted to be, this is all I ever wanted to do, and that nothing and nobody was going to get in the way of that. And if you have the same attitude about whatever it is you're chasing, I can guarantee you.
Nice low and sub bass resonance. Great intro to it. It kind of clarifies or relates to what Strat may have gone through, you know, being sort of judged based on where you came from, what your expectations are, and defying those expectations, you know, following your dreams, development. Nice guitar riff here. It's really pretty, isn't it, with this effects chain on it? It's in the center of the stereo field, so I wonder how the stereo padding is going to continue. Oh, nice filtered drum beat as well. This is cool. This is a good start.
Sometimes flow Perrier, sometimes flow Pellegrino, sometimes bottle manufactured till I let it go. They might say commercial, they might say it's mountain fresh, spring water, all natural, but I don't care what they commonly say. I am me, and the love always there, so I'll be truthful. I want to keep my spirit intact, yet stack and stack, mode like a casino.
I'm liking how he's talking about how he's still going to remain himself and his love is always there and his passion is there despite the challenges and the obstacles that are occurring. It's great. It lends a real sense of authenticity to it, to the experience, and the listener gets great first impression. Additionally, I like how we're putting those hi-hats, those triplet sort of trappish kind of hi-hats in the second half of the hook. I think that's a great choice. It develops the hook out and keeps it sounding fresh and interesting.
Big mama raised me on her own morals, but society mo pushing me to be lethal. Yes, it's true, there's good and there's evil. My words are not equal and they are not beneath you. Okay, then I'm used to solo with no friends. Every day to the Lord I make amends. I wonder when I make it, will I be alone still, or will I have a bad bitch with a fat bubble in the Benz? At what expense am I willing to push my soul? Ideas keep come around. Yo, stress and pressure rotate like Vogues. I am my greatest foe, for the love or for the dough.
I love the fact that he's contemplating his own journey, which directions he's going to take. I'm just going to turn the camera off. I think that adds a sense of humility to the situation for Strat that will make him more likable, because I think very few people can relate to someone thinking they're perfect and making all the decisions and knowing everything. I don't think anyone knows everything. You know what I mean? That bass, whether it's a synth or like something else, or like it could be like a modulated electric bass, it's quite present in the mix. I don't think it's too loud, but you can definitely feel it. And maybe that's by design, and if so, that's really cool. The absence of it is nice as well. I like both, you know, with it or without it.
Time tick away, but never can it be if he's willing that a man can't change his fate, become what he was meant to be, royal like red grapes. infinite. My artwork been forever intricate, infinite. No creation, no beginning, no ending. Balance grind with relaxation for my mental state.
A good man. Good man. You got to make sure that you balance those out. There's some really healthy messages that are being put forward here, and I really appreciate that. It's not all about work. You got to try and enjoy the journey as well.
Self-medicating, just present meditations, centering the universe. Oh, was I wrong? Was this all leading to the birth? Oh, just another cycle. Either way, every day different, so I stay on my toes like Michael. What goes around comes around like recycle. See, I could play it smooth, or I could go psycho.
I could play it smooth, or I could go psycho. I like the gentleness of the delivery here. The guy's calm and collected, and he's got a sort of sense of swagger to him, but it's not overbearing, and it doesn't seem unjustified.
What do I know?
That is an electric bass, isn't it? That's definitely an electric bass. I can tell they've treated that for the mix. I'm liking that there is dynamic range to the bass as an instrument. It makes it sound like a more sort of a analog, sort of a quote-unquote real performance, you know what I mean? You know, it doesn't really feel like 4 and a bit minutes have passed. It went really smoothly. If this is what the rest of the album is going to be like, it's a really easy listen, isn't it? Can't guarantee it'll be all like this, especially as this is an introduction, but that's fine. While I enjoy the musical theme, I personally feel like you probably could have ended it there and it would have been just as good. Unless there's something extra being added later on. Nice, just to fade out. That's fine too. It could have been good either way. I would say that bass guitar would be very, very present in like a stereo system or something like that. But again, that can be something that's desirable in certain genres of music like rap and hip hop. But great start with intro. I feel like I know Strat a bit better now. Pin out, number 2. Instant change in vibe. These really airy kind of mysterious strings. Oh. I like those claps and those reverse takes. Oh, repeater on those, like... Cool. Yeah, that 808 up in the top end was dope. I really enjoyed that. That was good times. I don't hear that enough. I love it when people put the octaves up and then go back down to the drop. It's a nice way of looping back into the second half of like a part of a song.
Situation morbid, whiskers growing now, werewolf transforming. I pull the pin out, detonate, plus a squeeze, verbal sprayed, triple breed, gets paid, explosive, blow up your shade. I pull the pin out,
pull the pin out.
Plus a squeeze, verbal spray.
Squeeze verbal spray. So is this meant to be him being explosive or something like that?
Gets paid, explosive, the boss boom. This is a grenade. Stradivarius been ill since baby carriage. Nah, scratch that. Been ill since I popped dick. Since I was a mama's stomach. Been strong in life, strong with the songs. The weak forever perish. I'm cold.
So we had like a hook which was very like, it was in the high and mid frequencies, very eerie and cloudy, like you're being surrounded by the mist of those strings and those reverse takes. I kind of like it. It's fun to have the anti-hook where usually choruses are a lot more sort of intense, but in this one, he's kind of flipping it. And I dig it. I dig it. That 808 is so smooth though in the mix with those kicks and claps. I think he's done some double tracking of the vocals as well, which gives those a little bit more presence in the mix.
virtuoso. My bars and beats got ties like mafioso. I pull the
I like that, the local virtuoso and tying that into the mafioso. It shows a sense of authority in the matter, and I think that imagery is fun. It's really cool.
detonate. Plus a squeeze.
And back to that hook. Cool, cool.
Sprayed, triple breed, gets paid, explosive, blow up your shade. I pull the pin out, detonate, plus a squeeze, verbal spray, triple breed, gets paid, explosive, the boss boom, this is a grenade. Yo, I'm box office, yo, you novice.
Oh, shit.
Professional, yo, you college.
You're professional, I'm professional, you're in college. That was fun. I dig it. I haven't heard that one before.
I'm cold hard dollars, yo, you Jeremy Lin, flash in the pan. I'm Rashid.
You got that you and me kind of trope coming through in this track.
Yo, I'm treasure. Yo, you fucking garbage. Yo, I bust it. A bitch I never trusted. I'm here to stay. I'm diamonds encrusted. You get blown away like a
Those hi-hats, well, they're really subtle, but it comes in really nicely after those pitch shifted 808s. Or higher octave 808s, should I say. Cool. Had another 3 verses, another 3 choruses. Cool. I ain't got any problems with that.
Gets paid, explosive, blow up your shade. I pull the pin out, detonate, plus a squeeze, verbal spray, triple breed, gets paid, explosive, the boss boom, this is a grenade.
Hey, good job with the Foley at the end. I just feel like this song would have been so naked or so... It would have been lackluster if you hadn't had that explosion at the end. Smart move. Smart move there, Strat. Good stuff. No, I'm happy with Pinout. I actually give that a like. I feel like that was a nice complete track. That you and me trope's been done before, but I feel like Strat nailed that well. Like the you versus me as in like, I am awesome, you're not kind of thing, you know what I mean? With like the hip hop kind of vibe and sort of like, I'm assuming he's comparing himself to other rappers, you know what I mean?
If you ain't down for real, don't you say that you love me, don't call me your brother. I ain't got no friends, that's the way it's gotta be right now.
Is this Serpents with a radio filter or something like that?
So I guess that ain't true no more, huh? Shit. Feels great to finally have some friends, you know what I'm saying? Have some ladies, you know, ain't lonely no more. Whoa, wait a minute. Shit, I guess I gotta watch out even more now, though.
Oh, that's a twist, isn't it? You get friends, but you gotta figure out how to keep them. Sounds a bit rough, man. Oh, some really trippy synths coming here.
Mode. Keep your lawn mowed, your grass cut. You know? At certain moments in life, there will be some people who don't mind to see you shine. However, when you get brighter than them, they'll throw shade at your time. I was thinking about some things and God brought me this particular rhyme. Who can you trust? Man, it's so difficult and tricky. Rough times will show you for sure who's down and who got the spikes coming out like that. Like a porcupine, so prickly, sickly is a nature.
I like this storyline here. We're talking about, you know, people who are gonna betray you if you get better than them. And it's so true, man. I like that we've discussed 3 unique topics here. I'm hoping that this is a lot of different sort of philosophical concepts or parts of Strat's life that he wants to discuss here. There's lots of interesting lessons to be learned.
That's my mistake, bruh. Thought that they loved ya, but now they fucking hate ya. They snakes on their belly and they slithering. Reptilian and amphibian, cold-blooded. Turned on me when I got sober. Guess they like the old Strat, the old James. You're the one who drank himself into oblivion. The eyes all blacked out, obsidian. Yo, we don't love you, we only pretend to, so we can see what and how you do. Deep down, we envy you, we hate you, we study your moves and learn you. Yo, we don't love you, we only pretend to, so we can see what and how you do. Deep down,
This is a smart chorus.
we hate you, straight man, fuck you.
I like that. I like this for several reasons. One, it indicates a a little bit of backstory to Strat, that maybe he was going through some rougher times and people were like, oh, you're not doing well. Oh, you're slightly improving, but I'm still ahead. And then secretly they've got these voices, these kind of warped, twisted, demented voices, you know, like these weird sort of like unethical kind of shitty inner monologues going on about how they actually don't like Strat at all, how they're just basically there just for the show. But I also, it's a cool idea and it's done well. And I think the vocal modulation and the tension that's displayed with the instrumentation is a smart move there. Everything's stylistically cohesive.
You can tell who they are when you got good radar, good intuition. A scandalous bitch may look good and smile in your face, but it's so hideous. And the vultures like Strat, what you willing to do for this million? Entice ya, draw ya in, then burn you like Branch Davidian. Millenniums has been going on. You better do the knowledge, read people well or become a pawn. You better be leery of the silhouettes. Beware of the Skeletor, stay true to yourself. Stay aware of all snakes from gardeners to cobras. Slimy, shiesty people fiending to pierce you with the venom, or wrap you up and squeeze the life out ya like a boa. They be watching ya like car salesmen. Can't wait to splatter you, spread your blood like hell now. We don't love you, we only pretend to, so we can see what and
Cool.
how
A
you
little bit of development in that second verse, but we're going back to the hook line.
hate you. We study your moves and learn you. Yo, we don't love you, we only pretend to, so we can see what and how you do. Deep down, we envy you, we hate
I mean, I haven't really heard anything like this before, and like an album of this genre.
Proverbs 27:6 says, faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. I look at it like this. Wounds from a friend can be trusted, but an enemy multiplies kisses. Who's your friends? Who's your enemies?
Oh, that's some deep stuff,
Know
man.
thy enemies, know your friends. Or is it frenemies?
Oh, no, that's too much,
Since
dude.
the beginning of time, these things have taken place. Serpents, snakes.
Yeah, that was unsettling at the end, but I think having him sort of more talk and break the fourth wall is a smart move there. It's a nice change from what we had so far, which has been that verse, chorus structure. And at the beginning of the track, you think he's talking to himself, but in actuality, it's something that can be applied to all of us. Great. 3 for 3, man. Really stoked with it. Really stoked, dude. Bags dance.
Make that money. Don't let it make you. Yeah.
Yeah, that question in the previous track of how do you want to make your first million, it's so like, I fucking hate it. Like, real talk. I hate it when people are like, oh, you're only good for making money. That must be so depressing, dude. Just being loved by people because you're wealthy.
Like they used to say, money don't grow on trees.
Nice little bit of auto-tune in here.
Paper, cause it ain't gonna come get you. Get the bag, make it dance. Get the bag, make it dance. Hey, yeah. Get the bag, Strat. Yeah.
God gave me another chance, so I get up, get that bag, make it dance. No more backsteps, only advance. Tunnel vision in a trance. Life of finance, now lit like a lamp. Halogen lit like literally, get it? Yo, we great for the motherfucking grants. Millions.
You're right. Lots of things to appreciate. I like how this track is a little bit more upbeat to match the fact that he's got a second chance and he's making the most of it. Follows on nicely from Serpents by talking about not worrying about the backstabbers, just looking for genuine people. I also like that sort of drum fill we had there, like and the way it was stereo panned. And also, we don't get enough drum fills in hip hop and rap. I know we're still using drum machines, but you can still do stuff like this and make it fun. Really cool way of splitting up a verse. Really cool. I'm enjoying this, hey.
Leveling up all my shit, smooth or rough. Either way, it get them bucks. I stack some up. Chicks wiggle they rumps, drop it, pop it like G's do trunks. Slow on.
Nice additional kind of fuzzy synth layer there. Accenting the half note. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. The 1 and 3.
plush, haters gonna fuss, but we keeps it pushing like with me in the brush crush. Yo, this is just lunch, this is just snacks, this is just munch. Strat out is gonna say that he doing way too much. Man, fuck that stuff, we ride to the moolah. Get that bag, make it dance. 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 Get that bag.
It's catchy, dude.
Get that bag, make it dance. Get that bag, make it dance.
You know, it's a simple line, get that bag, make it dance, but it gets stuck in your head, you know? It gets stuck in your head. And I think that's the point, right? Especially with a track that's 5 minutes 25 this, it's a little bit longer than a lot of the other tracks on this album, and it's a little bit outside that 2 to 4 minute range, which is the sweet spot for music in the wide variety of genres in this day and age. If you got a catchy hook, that's halfway there. If you got a compelling storyline, you're the other half, you know? You know, you got a very simple bass line and harmony. You know what, I've got a huge amount of complexity in the, no extensions or anything, but it works fine the way it is.
Holy moly, strategy, spit, stratagems, get cheese like ravioli.
I like that Strategenius for Stratagems line. I think that's really cool. The guy's got a vocabulary and isn't afraid to use it.
Like pastries, dough like cannolis, icy cold like the bust down rollie, in the game like a goalie. Thickums on the right side of me, thickums on the left. They wanna show me my funds coming in now, multiply, multi like Rachel, just like me. I run it like a stampede. In this rap shit, I'm taking the lead. Do this shit with ease indeed. Growth and full blown from all my planes and seeds. Black and white like a referee. On my way to where we said we made it. Envious and hate on the faces. Yo, bitch, I can switch, I can stretch, I can change it. She like many things, many sides. Devil's horns, angels' wings. She like the raps, she like the scenes. Dope for the fiends. No matter how you get it, how you do it, when you do, make it dance, and that just means make it work for you. Get it?
I like that, you know, that line, no matter how you do it, make it work for you. You know, don't, again, he talks about relaxation and stuff and taking care of himself in intro. And I like the fact that we're also reinforcing that with a, don't wear yourself inside out to try and get there. Don't burn yourself out. Cool. Hey man. So good. Get that bag. See, I can't do it because I know that my Bluetooth headphones are slightly out of sync with the audio. But I think I might switch to like cable headphones at some point, just so that I can sing along to catchy hooks.
This is international. This is played in a spaceship too. Scooping up bags in other galaxies, other planets.
That's fun.
Go pursuers blooming like petunias. Got chicas spreading like rumors. This is dope.
I like that sauciness, man. It's fun. It's done really well. I like it.
This is international. This is played
It's fun, man.
spaceship too. Scooping up bags in other galaxies, other planets, bro.
A bit of vocal fall in here as well, which are cool.
Like petunias, got chicas spreading like rumors. Get that bag, make it dance. 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 Get that bag, make it dance.
What kind of elevates that hook for me as well is you can hear the secondary sort of chanting in the background, like people are hyping it up, and I love that to pieces, man. I think it's dope. Oh, double chorus. You're lucky it's catchy. A double chorus at the 5 minute mark. You're lucky it's catchy, my dude. Nah, I'm kidding. It's cool. Cool. Thank you for not doing a third. We had room for a third, and I would have been really disappointed. 2's enough. Especially when you've got that simplicity with the messaging of it. Just have the music, you know, fade us out like you're doing. It's cool. I don't think that we needed to have one of those outro choruses. 2 was absolutely fine. It was nice and round. It was a nice reinforcement of that main hook line. And again, like the musical theme and arrangement and the way it's performed and presented was catchy as well. Like I'm gonna give that a like as well. I like bag dance. It's a good time, man. Make that bag, make it dance or something like that. See, my English accent, my accent is, I say dance instead of dance. I wish I could. Dance sounds cooler, you know what I mean? We got the lonely song, anyways, number 5.
Yeah.
The lonely song.
My confidence was low. No. Not no more.
Cool.
Let's go. My bros say I should go ahead and be a player, a pimp. They say, man, what you waiting on? You been had that drip, man. Fuck a bitch. Plus you got the lack now, boy, you too slick. Half of me tell myself, yeah, I'ma do it then. Fuck all these bad girls plus they friends. Get my ends. But the other half of me tell me that my heart can't pretend. Maybe.
That's kind of cute. I don't mean that in a patronizing way. I think like cute isn't like, it's nice to have that angle where the person's like, actually, I can't just go and do this non-emotionally. I really need to have a connection to someone in order to do that, or like, I just want to treat them better. I think that's something that's really beautiful, dude.
Just one, only one, a real one. Am I a
Nice drum groove there with the
Should I settle down or should I just have some fun? Look at all these buns. Either way,
very subtle
I know the
bass line
money
there as
coming.
well.
I
That's
know the fame
occasional.
coming. I know the groupies coming. I know more temptations coming. I can do what I want, so I activate my confidence bubbling. Chick dancing on me, rubbing, showing signs that she wantin'. Told me that she got a husband. Told me that she done with his ass, so she ain't been coming. Plus she got an onion, big bosoms, thickens with her face, so fucking stunning. She was tipsy, yo, she gave me her keys. Grabbed my dick, so we hit the breeze. Lucky me. For me, love stays on run.
Oh, we got these kind of West Coast synths coming in here.
Tonight, I'ma have some fun.
Oh, I like the way that the vocals sound with that whistly synth.
For me, love stays on run. Tonight, I'ma have some fun.
The lonely song. Yeah, it seems like he wants to connect with someone. He's just doing his best to get through life the way he is with his newfound confidence and his newfound success.
Last night was lit, way too real, but now it's back to solo riding and I feel empty still. Trying not to trip, can't afford to slip. Will I see her again or was it one hit? I mean, it's good times, crushing all these dimes, hooking up in the moment when it's nothing but a vibe. But on certain days and nights, I feel I need that long term, that romance. You know, that wife. Someone down for me, ride or die, down for life, more than flashing lights, I need my sunshine. The loneliest MC on the grind, the void in his spirit, damn near killer G at times. So we write rhymes, you're the world, tell me, fuck a bitch, fuck a hoe, fuck feelings, get dough, hey yo, just pimp hard. Is that really me though, or just a facade? Love.
I love that. I love that we're acknowledging that there could be a facade at play with a lot of this kind of stuff. It's sometimes I listen to hip hop and rap albums and I hear this incredible emotional vulnerability from the people that are on the mic. And then there's this like, oh, but I'll go, you know, fuck some bitches and like, and there were, you know, like that it goes from like, I'm not trying to get all fucking sort of like, you know, I'm not trying to get all moralistic or anything like that. But you have this thing where like people are sort of quote unquote pimping out. But then they also talk about how they're wanting to become a better person and treat people better and have like respect and love and all that kind of stuff. And I'm liking that Strat's talking about the fact that it could be a facade and he's trying to figure that out. I think that's really cool. It's a nice multi-dimensional experience. I hope he has fun as well, you know?
Females, I don't mean to be cruel, but every time I turn around, this is how you show me you do. Ruin it for the good ones nowadays. Everything ruthless, no rules. I feel like Bobby Brown, don't be cruel, so I transform into show dog. With my nasty ways and pimp moves, the player swim moves, doing more than a few. They all hot like Carnival cruise. Now it's next week. I see a cutie killing that dress, popping it, so I step. Let the finesse commence. I get it in the bed, show her who's best. Just another Saturday night in the club. Fuck love, we commit lust. Fast forward, ooh, and it feels so good. Yo, we broke the mattress and went hard like the hood. Didn't even sleep. She left me drained, all sweaty like a game. Left my satin sheet stained. Nile, little mommy, all drenched, all soaked. Pussy went tsunami. I hope we keep it going weekly on the regular. I get back to my bags though, ain't no sweating her. 2 days later, phone on lit. Look who hitting up my cellular.
Yay! He managed to find someone. That's beautiful. Okay, I'm genuinely happy for Strat. I'm happy for him because, you know, there's this development through the story where he gets with someone at a club and then they do stuff and then like doesn't hear back from them and he's like, oh, really? Am I back to being myself? And he's like, do I want more than this? And then he takes another chance of it and he manages to find success this time. I think that's beautiful. I really genuinely think it is. It makes me really happy. It's good storytelling. Good storytelling. I think that's what makes it special, you know?
IG models, Facebook hoes, Snapchat freaks, webcam girls, thoughts, strippers, hustling women, working women, 9-to-5 women, classy women with respect, college girls, the wild ones and the ones in nerd mode. Fuck, I can't deny, I love them all, bro. But a queen can have my soul, all of me. I've yet to meet her though.
Yet to meet her though. I like the fact that he's acknowledging all these different women and saying that he loves them all, but he only does this one out there and he's yet to meet her. Which is kind of sad because I think in the last verse he found someone who was like that, but maybe I misinterpreted it. Maybe I did misinterpret it. I don't know. With the last verse line, or the verse beforehand, I thought the phone lit up as in like he was getting message, but I could have misinterpreted that. And if that's the case, I'm sorry, Strat, I apologize. Or maybe it didn't work out with the person that lit up his phone, I'm not sure. I'm gonna feel real dumb if I've completely misinterpreted that, but that's okay. I loved some of the key parts as well in the Lonely Song. I just think it was really arranged beautifully, and it showed some emotional vulnerability in the harmonies and the orchestration as well as the vocal performance. Nice to have that vocal line clean and more colourful in that chorus. Scandocious, number 6.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very funky, isn't it?
This is for y'all. Some of y'all.
That 90s hip-hop vibe, dude.
Now a bitch is a bitch and a woman is a woman. Queen is a queen, so where they at? Cause now, yo, that's how I'm moving. Real Strat stories. Have you in the club, ladies shaking ass, straight grooving. Thank God I ain't stuck with my old broads. They was bad for my spirit. Man, they get trapped by the walls and fall. I take advantage of my situation, so it's time to ball. Answer my call. Truth be told though, should I pimp, should I find a real one? Be in it for the long haul? I want a chick that enjoy life, so delightful, not a chick toxic, negative and spiteful. Keep my game tight, yo. Gotta make sure her mind right, yo. Even though she got an ass fatter than a holiday ham and a cute face, this is scandocious, man.
Scandocious. I like there's more bombastic tonality to Strat's sort of sense of musicality here. It's a fun track. We had Lonely Song, which is a little more sort of like low key, and this here is I think a fun contrast to that. Lovely. There's some interesting bass tones. That modulator on that synth, man.
So sexy, so scandocious, sultry, seductive, she make you lose focus. Scandocious, so scandocious, that thing that she got cause overdoses. So sexy, so scandocious, sultry, seductive, she make you lose focus.
Sultry, seductive, she make you lose focus. Dope. So that's what the song is about. That's cool. As a nice follow-on from the Lonely Song, we're talking about the women involved themselves, you know?
Please don't get it in a twist. I got respect for real women, however, never no bitch. I done seen a lot, I done learned how to spot them, how to separate. Now I know the diff. After everything you got, after your racks, Basing things on feelings, not facts. First one to point the finger, but it's shit not intact. Call it the ghetto black, but it's shit.
I like pointing out the hypocrisy in the song, you know, like trying to sort of keep things real, knowing how to spot him. It's dope. I like the guitar riffs as well. I can hear some like lead guitar lines occasionally, which is kind of fun. And there's some higher end sort of synth parts, which I think are additional for this verse, which are a nice little bit of development to the main musical motif.
On point, but she like this song, this is shit. She dance to the joint. She know she got the bombs when she detonate. Devastate with that pussy, nasty with them cakes. If your G ain't strong, she'll break your ankles with that juke, with that pump fake. So pump breaks when you sense these hoes. They could be a scandal with hearts black like crows. Scandalous, so scandalous, that thing
Cool.
that she got cause overdoses. So sexy, so scandalous, sultry, seductive, she make you lose focus. Scandalous, so scandalous, that thing that she got cause overdoses. So sexy, so scandalous, sultry, seductive, she.
I've just realized he's saying overdoses cause overdoses. And I thought he was saying overdoses, and I was like, I mean, that's fun wordplay, but overdose is okay, cool.
You know the super freaky, been in the hearts the evil woman, a real bad woman, and not bad meaning good. Have your brain not working, thoughts dictated by your wood. You know the ones in the club, leave it behind the kids for days, all for the fuck fest. Real life pornos being made when we play at the crib, oh, but I can't lie though. Sometimes myself, I love a nasty hoe, a swallowing pro, so scandalous. Yo, a pussy, feel the dopest for the character and so ferocious. Yo, she learned from her mama how to make you lose focus, and before you know it, you caught up real shit, that's why I wrote this. Damn, I wanna fuck, she wanna fuck, but she's scandalous, so scandalous.
Damn, man. Did he get caught out? I'm not sure how he got caught out, but he got caught.
That thing that she got cause overdoses. So sexy, so scandalous, sultry, seductive, she make you lose focus. Scandalous, so scandalous.
It's a fun track. We got another minute though. I wonder what we're gonna do with it. Are we gonna do another chorus? Good man. Thank you for not doing another chorus here. That would have been a really long outro, you know what I mean? Because I'm not sure what we would have done after that.
All the women, all the queens, keep that booty bouncing, keep your body grooving. A queen is really what my heart wants, but tonight, yo, we'll see how we're moving. Now all the bitches, all the women, all the queens, keep that booty bouncing, keep your body grooving. Oh, she's so scandalous.
Fun idea. Fun idea. I enjoy this. I'm liking this vocal modulation here. It's a fun thing we haven't really heard a lot of before, but it works really well with some of the other. Again, this 90s hip hop, early 90s hip hop elements I'm hearing here. Nice and strong, dude. It's nice and fresh. It's making me nostalgic for a part of time I wasn't really a part of, you know? I was like 2 or 3 years old when a lot of that music came out. That snare sound is slightly delayed. I go, va. I like the fact you're doing an instant attack with that tone. It's great. And that fade out was classy. Yeah. No, this is a very strong first half of the album. I've got no real complaints about anything that I've heard so far. There was a slight kind of, there's been slight bits like I wonder if we've got to maybe finish the song a little bit earlier, like an intro and like the sound of the electric bass. But aside from that, like the loudness of the bass in the mix, but it's fine. And I'm really happy with it so far. We've got Novaflex though. Novaflex. Can I go down a little bit? Yay! There we go.
Now I got off the schneid.
Oh, I just ruined it. Oh, no, we're good.
Mamacitas, cuties, senoritas, think Barbie, Snow White. Chocolate bunnies with stunning features. Summer breeze, yo, it hit you in the evening. Below city lights, I glide on the street like a sweeper. It's so invigorating. Yo, the slaps pulsating. Stratting over suave, smooth like silk body wash. On the skin, lathered up, while the inner freak is awaking. It's new, but twist with old school like feather in the...
I'm just trying to let the verse go through just to really hear the story of each verse like individually. I'm trying not to interrupt this review too much because I think the guy's got such smooth flow that if you do that, you're doing him a disservice. So I'll go back a little bit just so we can hear everything in context. But I'm liking the main musical motif at the moment. Nice use of brass there.
But she like it dirty, so I slid in the home like a LA Dodger. I'm chill, yo, I'm penguin cool. Thought you knew, well if you didn't, well hell now you do. I'm gladly on my turn like next. I'm now, not next. Vocab do effects, vocals got a wet. Stratting over flex. I'm gladly on
Is this the chorus?
like next. I'm now, not next. Vocab do effects, vocals got a wet. Stratting over flex.
Stratton Overflex. I wasn't aware we'd gotten into the chorus. There wasn't as much of a sort of transitional determinant that we've had previously.
I got more drip than a wet mop. You can see
But that's okay. It's a very smooth experience, isn't it?
yo, my raps is nifty. I ball out now. I used to
It's
be
probably a
swiftly.
deliberate thing
Used to
stylistically.
move like swiftly. I may be solo. I may have a bad chick with me. Who thick like Jiffy. How she got all the ass in them jeans. It's a mystery. Piss nipples, tats on her thighs. Landing strip on the kitty. Eyes that are melt a simp soul. Kill you with the pretty. And she love to give me squishy. Love to give me Einstein. Yo, love to give me tippy. Top like the rope. You got no drizzle. Yo, you got no hope. No Strat, stay on fresh. Act as if, so I act like the best. I'm gladly on my.
Okay, there's a little bit of change in the vocal tonality. I like the smoothness he's portraying here as an individual with the woman that he's sort of dealing with. That's cool. Really strong imagery evoked here. A bit of wordplay in there as well, like a landing strip on the kitty. Stuff like that's funny. It's got a sense of humor to it.
Like next, I'm now, not next. Vocab do effects, vocals got a wet. Stratting over flex.
Cool, Stratton Overflex. I get that. The connection is made.
Now, not next. Vocab do effects, vocals got a wet. Stratting over flex.
Yeah, we got some guitarists, some organ parts there, some brass occasionally, still a drum groove. It's a little bit more sort of somber than what we had previously, especially with Scandocious.
Like looking in the mirror like WWF Luger Lex. Captivating bars of smooth shit intersect. They were sleeping on me like the power went out in the middle of the night. Mr. Alarm, now all the chicks wanna sex. I drip sickly like icicle hanging off the cabin. Cold like no deek. This, that, pimpin' Ken, Cadillac, and imagine me quitting this shit like I almost did. Never brought back to life. You, the universe would be incomplete. And there'd be no smiles from your wife. And we.
It surprises me that he almost quit, although we've alluded to the fact that he went through some stuff in the past and he's come back.
That ain't right. What you say? That ain't right. I'm gladly on my turn like next. I'm now.
And back into that chorus.
Next.
I'm liking the little shimmery bits that we have here. It helps to signify they're in a chorus, a little bit of extra shimmer and shine to it. It makes it seem more grandiose.
Vocab do effects, vocals got a wet. Stratting over
Some
flex.
classy sort of 70s kind of
On my turn
soul R&B vibes.
I'm now, not next. Vocab do effects, vocals got a wet. Stratting over flex. I'm gladly on my turn like
Oh, we're doing two? We're doing two? Okay.
not next.
Cool. We're doing choruses. Doing two.
Do effects, vocals got a wet. Stratting over flex. I'm gladly on my turn like next. I'm now, not next.
Oh, we're doing the long fade out.
Do effects,
But it's not like the end of the song yet. Oh, so we're in Cadillac on a Sunday morning. Oh, no, Flex ended really quickly. Why is it set as 3:59 if it only goes for 3:17? Okay, I mean, we're into Cadillac on a Sunday morning now. I wasn't expecting that, but I think it works well as a 3-minute 17 track. Cadillac on a Sunday morning. He was mentioning his Cadillac in the previous song. So, nicer filtered organ here, dude. Again, it's a tone we haven't had a lot of yet. Cool.
closet full, but my heart empty. I roll so low, ride the lag, baby. Work my day job, stack dough lately, but the real me come out at night when I rap, baby.
Shit, man, that hits hard. That kick there, it just pumps. It's present. It's a powerful kick.
Flip this thing big. No more sip vodka, no more sip Henny. Mind right, and I'm growing. Progress, developments of movements. Love by few, hated by many.
I lost the sense of the groove there for a minute, but we're going back there.
So currently, I'm really thinking like Puff. Talking entertainment and enterprise. Generational wealth. Yo, hunger in my eyes. Pain in my blood. I'm so talented, blessed, thankful. Life recently, not how it was. Digging out the mud. Finding myself. The journey, the ups and downs is meant to be found. I'm just rolling in the Cadillac.
Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt the chorus. I'm quite enjoying it. So this is getting back to the refrain of him sort of more talking about the journey he's made and the improvements and what's changed. I like it. Cadillac on a Sunday morning. There is a sense of spirituality, I think because of the church organs. A sense of gratitude as well from the story so far.
On a Sunday morning, I'm just rolling in the Cadillac. On a Sunday morning, I'm just rolling in the Cadillac. On a Sunday morning, I'm just rolling in the Cadillac. On a Sunday morning, I'm just rolling in the Cadillac. On a Sunday morning, I'm just rolling in the Cadillac. On a Sunday morning, I'm just rolling in the Cadillac. On a Sunday morning.
Nice change of the bass drum during there.
On a Sunday morning, now maybe I should be in service, but I'm wary of them too. Nobody's perfect. We all sinners, no human better than the next. Everybody's soul is swerving. In today's climate, anybody, and I mean anybody, could hurt you and have evil lurking. Even preacher man,
True.
preacher woman will fuck you over. I love God and I'll speak my mind for certain. I'm more comfortable riding my lap with the windows down, nice weather, wheel turning, sunshine in my coffee, music blaring, songs of my own thoughts I'm submerged in. Yes.
I like that very faint sort of brassish melody going on in the background, which reinforces some of the themes we've had in the synth and pad sections earlier on. It's a nice way of changing that theme into and keeping it fresh. Keeping it interesting.
My affirmations in a few Bible verses. I talk to the Lord every day. I testify. If you have faith, prayer stays working. I'm just rolling in the Cadillac.
Cool. This is nice and short, and I think that it works really well for Strat.
I'm just rolling in the Cadillac. On a Sunday morning, I'm just rolling in the Cadillac. On a Sunday morning, I'm just rolling in the Cadillac. On a Sunday morning, I'm just rolling in the Cadillac. On a Sunday morning, I'm just rolling in the Cadillac. On a Sunday morning, I'm just rolling in the Cadillac. On a Sunday morning.
I don't think we needed more from that song. I think that this is the correct amount of content within a track. We got the idea talking about sort of the trepidation in regards to the church service and even pastors screwing you over and stuff like that. And I like the roundness of the moral compass there. I think that's really cool, that awareness that everyone is capable of evil, you know. He's just rolling on his Cadillac. Intermission of a mission. Sounds like we're going to the movie. It's got a movie theme coming over here. Oh, some extended harmonies here. Oh, okay, where are we going? Some wishy-washy synths as well. Nice claps, dude.
Yeah. I came out my drought, just got some pussy, but it really didn't feel that good. It really wasn't that tight. I still feel empty inside. And yo, I still ain't satisfied. I wanna be a pimp, I wanna be a player. Groupies and thoughts every night. I wanna live my best life. I wanna have the love of my life. Yo, I wanna have my wife. Fuck, these are Strat world problems, loneliness and love.
Yeah, it's nice to have this sort of cloudiness, this sort of dreamlike state with the musical sort of identity behind his inner monologue, trying to figure out what the hell he wants.
Your affection and fucks, fast cars and bucks. Most times I think I know what I want, but wait a minute, maybe I don't know what I really want. My music's so honest, maybe
maybe you don't. And it's okay not to know, you know?
But I always pay respect to those before me. Pay homage, knowledge in the pages that I turn, in the literature, in the latest book that I'm reading. Then I go and make a song with the simplest hook. All for the fame, as my time came and passed. Am I chasing something that I'll never catch? Wasted all those years drowning in my bottle, running with the thugs, negative energy, anger towards my father. Only God knows if this is meant to be. I'll find out in due time, even if it's the death of me.
I like how we're really getting introspective here and we're trying to figure out who we are, what we want, where we're headed, what our plans are. It's a nice kind of way of articulating some of the struggles we've had with previous leaders. Because, you know, we were talking about how we wanted to find a wife earlier, and then we went through like Scandocious and like the Nova flicks and stuff like that. And then we're trying to find peace on Sunday morning, and then suddenly we're like, whoa, actually, what are we doing, you know? I love that chronological journey we're going on there. It's cool.
When I shouldn't, trying to relive, still chasing my past, like it's coming back. Where will I be when my eyes roll back? Will they love me then, huh? Will they? I guess we'll all find out when this film fade to black. Guess we'll find out if he made it from the raps. Guess we'll find out if indeed it's a legacy like you say. Yo, if it's facts. Guess we'll find out when the sand in the hourglass sit at the bottom. It'll tell that.
Very somber, isn't it? You can only find out at the end. The music has a weird, misty sense of drama to it. There's a little bit of tension and underlying sequence of the... Yeah, it's very... I love the sub-layering of these different ingredients in this mix. There's an additional kind of female vocal sample in there sometimes. I think it's just to keep the groove of the hands on the one beat, maybe? Yeah, on the end of the one and the 8th note groove. It's every 2 bars, isn't it? Intermission of Emission, though. And now we've got Jewel of the Nile. Track number 10. It's weird that we only have 5 tracks to go. It's been a very quick album to listen through. I don't know how long this review is going to be, though, but we'll see. It's very slow, though, isn't it? I kind of like that. I'm liking these oscillating synths as well as the very kind of light piano lines.
Yeah. Now we can hop in my Cadillac car, ride through the city lights and skyscrapers. I hit the outskirts, the country, and see the stars. So let's roll like a R. You finally trust me, you let down your guard. It's so beautiful when our minds play with each other. It's so beautiful when our bodies touch each other. Undercovers, I never want another. My soulmate and my lover, happiness we discovered. I really love ya for loving me when I was acting down, or when the money wasn't come around. Yo, we still together and the finances is better now. Everything's straight now. Yo, so anything you want,
okay.
Simply it's my treat, it's my pleasure, cause you my treasure, beyond any measure. Look no more, I don't gotta never. We both blessed together, so let's make it last forever.
Alright, so I think we've gone through some introspection again, an intermission of Emission, and we've realized, oh, this is the person I need. This is the person I want. You know.
My jewel of the Nile, my diamond in the rough, my apple like the bunch, you make me high, can't get enough.
Cool.
My one and only,
Nice additional melodic synth layer here.
what you say, babe, you and me.
Oh, that Dvlpmnt is gorgeous on it, eh?
My diamond in the rough, my apple like the bunch, you make me high, can't get enough. My one and only, what you say, you and me ride. What you say, babe, you and me fly. I know they told me not to trust a big butt and a smile, but I swear, girl, you different. You one of a kind, like the jewel of the Nile. You got my mind and heart going crazy all over the place.
I'm liking the choir in the background, almost like a church choir going, or like saying, kind of encouraging him to go for it and be honest with her.
When we text, when we talk, when we sex, when we spend time, when we hang out, or if we chillin' at the house. You my Adrian, like I'm Rocky, till death do us part. Good and bad, ups and downs, when it's going smooth, when they get rocky. You just like me, the personalities match up, it all add up. We lock our lips, we lock our souls. Our spirits touch and go. Our love making more than physical. The action is
Right.
hot, so compelling. Yo, when we first met, the eyes you had was so telling. You wanted me to speak to you, and I'm glad I did it. You so out this world, our first date, I ain't even try to hit it. I do anything for you, you my new.
I like the idea of him not just trying to hit it on the first date. There's like a genuine just wanting to enjoy the journey and not trying to rush it. I think that harkens back to some of the things we talked about previously. The music is so complex. There's this complexity to the arrangement at the moment, the harmonies that I think mirror the situation he's going through with his development and change.
My only one, my honey bun.
But it's also very like kind of,
I'll always keep it real.
so there's a sense of romanticism about it at the same time, you know?
Baby, I'll never lie. This time the nice guy didn't finish last. Yo, we for infinity. Ain't no need to ask. You my perfect 10. You my switch. Nothing but that. Let's live
Nice repeater on the right side of the headphones.
in the sunset. My jewel of the Nile. My diamond in the rough. My apple like the bunch. You make me high, can't get enough. My one and only, what you say, you and me ride. What you say, babe, you and me fly. My jewel of the Nile. My diamond in the rough. My apple like the bunch. You make me high, can't get enough. My one and only, what you say, you and me ride. What you say, babe, you and me fly. What you
Excellent.
say, you and me ride.
What you say, you and me ride. What you say, you and me have a chance on this. It's great. Got no complaints about this track. I think it's really well written.
Babe, you and me.
And he's nice and gentle, and like it sounds like he's really talking to the person. I like that delivery, that style of it. I think that's really cool.
You and me ride. What you say, babe, you and me fly. I wanna be your guy. Would you be my girl? Would you be my wife? Would you be my wife?
And going back to that main lead thing there, we're heading to choruses, but now it's just fading us out. Those hi-hats are very resonant in the mix. I like the combination of the claps and the hi-hats. I'm wondering how he's automating those different instruments though, whether he's automating all of the elements of the track or just some of them. Maybe he's automating the master of it. I'm not sure. But it's cool. Great. Awesome. All right, I'll be right back. I'm just going to take a little break, then we'll continue. All right, time for number 11. Let's go. Katana mantra.
You can make it in a big place, you can make it anywhere. But I beg to differ. Because I feel if you make it in a small place with no resources, you ready for the world anywhere you go. So when you get in a big place with multiples of resources, sky's the limit.
Good point. Good point. Yeah, if you can make it somewhere where you got nothing, when you got stuff, you're going to be absolutely explosive.
Yo, that katana mantra. You gotta have that.
Nice filtered.
Get on. Yo,
I'm liking the instrumental theme here we've got with the filtered guitar, like other bits with the hand drums or something like that, or like the filtered. It's nice to have that frequency modulation there to go with the normality, like the normal vocal chain. I think it's a nice contrast between the two.
on, and now I'm picking up speed, driving me since I was conceived, driving me like power from horses, wind behind me, yell forces, went through hell, the result I came out on my apex focus, apex legend, now you notice, break the struggle dynasties, that's my motive, abundance of dreams, so I got to keep going. Shining and striving, success, so stay grinding. I hit my gears and take off and start flying. Without the pressure, yo, there is no timing. Moving and moving, I keep my blade slicing. On the move, keep your blades.
I feel like this would like do well to have something a little bit more sort of like solid than what we've got with the vocals, with everything else filtered. It seems like it's a very misty kind of, it's colorful and it's bright, and it reminds me of like music you'd hear through like a kind of an LP player or something like that, with like a little cute little tweeter speaker on it. But like there's this the sub bass as well, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like if you had like more of a percussive element just to keep the groove going in this part, it'd be good, because I'm not really sure where the beat starts and ends. Oh, there is like a boom, 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 boom. That's new, I think.
The acclaimed, the accomplished. You'll see, I told me to myself, I promised no excuses. No compromising. I was cold once, now I glisten. It's fruition.
Okay.
It was all on God's timing. Improvising, adapting when the situation change. Yo, shifting my shape, but forever my essence stays the same. At times it's tough, but I follow my heart. Plus my sparks go with intuition. Yo, what L is not a loss. It's a lesson learned. No fear. Yo, no flinching.
Shining and striving. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm really vibing with this track. I appreciate the elements individually, and I think it's a really cool musical concept with the slidey kind of wow, you know, those instrumental parts are cool, like both from a textural standpoint and melodic standpoint.
Success, so stay grinding. I hit my gears and take off and start flying. Without the pressure, yo, there is no diamond. Moving and moving, I keep my blade slicing. On the move, keep your blade slicing. On the move, keep your blade slicing.
It's a very ambient kind of track for me. Almost a little bit experimental. Yeah, this is very unusual.
To reality, attainable, actually tangible. Yo, manifest the mastery. Your whole life a journey. Make sure you embrace. Don't waste. Go and get the whole cake. Your whole life a journey. Make sure you embrace. Don't waste. Go and get the whole cake. Your whole life a journey. Make sure you embrace. Don't waste. Go and get the whole cake. Your whole life a journey. Make sure you embrace. Don't waste. Go and get the whole cake.
I like that we tried to do something unique and sort of unorthodox to a lot of the hip hop and rap I've reviewed over the while. I like that Strat took a risk here. I think it pays off. It's just very different than what I've heard from him so far. His vocal style remains similar, and by this point in the album, if you've listened to it from start to here, you'll know that it's Strat rapping at this point in time. I also don't think that it would have benefited him to have like a repeat or a rehash of any of the tracks beforehand, because they've been their own unique sort of individual pieces. I do like the way that we're talking about manifesting your mastery over that. Like it's great messaging for people who are listening to this to know. Like you're not gonna become an expert at something within 5 minutes. You need to take time and develop that over your lifetime, and not rush it. Again, there's this constant harkening back to don't try and do everything at once. You'll get there if you keep trying, even with like the relationships and the woman that he's with, going through that journey, learning these things, becoming a better person, you know. I'm not sure if the vocal modulation going into that low range necessarily worked very well. I'm not sure like how I was supposed to take that, whether it was meant to be something that was supposed to enforce the seriousness of the message, or if it was supposed to be like, I'm not really sure. It was definitely different. I'm gonna leave that a like, just because I want to encourage Strat to do more like this in future. But yeah, Moms, number 12.
Mom, this is dedicated to you. I love you.
Yeah, I think he talked about his mom, or like a dislike for his father earlier on.
Thank you. You've done an amazing job raising me. All on your own. Mom, it's me. It's your only child, your only son. I hope I make you proud. You make me proud, everything you've been through. How strong you are, how tough you are. The world's best mom, you the real superstar. Working hard still to this day, providing for me back in the day. Always, even when life got so foul, and I gave you hell, yet still you stayed down.
I not only love the fact that we're doing a song for his mom, which is really heartfelt. I'm also liking the fact that the music behind is so optimistic and so vibrant and so full of life and so calm and to hear. You know, there's no tension or anything like that. It's mostly like major arpeggios and chords and stuff. Nice gentle bit of like hi-hat work there.
It was God's plan for me to come back home, come back to town. You smile now, no more frowns. Mom, words cannot express, but on this one, I'ma do my best. To have you as my mother, I am greatly blessed. Unconditional love, never no less.
This is a great Mother's Day song, I think, which is fitting because actually I think Mother's Day is very, very close now. I think it's the first Sunday of May in New Zealand anyways.
As my mother, I am greatly blessed. Unconditional love, never no less. I know it wasn't easy as a single mother raising a boy. We didn't have much, but you made sure I was clean, I had food, gave me happiness and joy. Christmas morning, them Batman and Star Wars toys, and the music that you played helped shape me into what I am today. As an artist, I remember like yesterday, you blasting them jams, cleaning the house on Saturdays.
I love it to pieces. I really like the talk about like the toys on Christmas and the music that she played and how he's grateful for it. It's very wholesome. I'm really enjoying my time with this track. I really hope that
And later on, you didn't have to, and many times
I enjoy this side of him as well.
I hurt you so many times with the things that I said, the disrespect, the way I behaved so many times. You put up with my crap. Mom, words cannot express, but on this one, I'ma do my best. To have you as my mother, I am greatly blessed. Unconditional love, never no less. Mom, words cannot express, but on this one, I'ma do my best. To have you as my mother, I am greatly blessed. Unconditional love, never no less. You never left me behind, and I'm so grateful. You understand me, your heart's so big. You truly are an angel. I appreciate you always believing in me, that I could achieve my dreams. I appreciate you never giving up on me, always seeing me for what I could really be. Finally, it's the real me, the real James. God, answer your prayers one day at a time. From the bottle, I'm free. Thank you for your support and sacrifice. I'm indebted forever. Without you and your strength, I wouldn't have mine. I wouldn't be who I am and where I'm at in life. And everything gonna work out and be great and be alright. I love your mom from here on out. It's only tears of joy when you cry. I promise.
It's really sad to hear that he went through all the struggle, but I love that his mom supported him through it, including with the issues with the alcohol, if I understand correctly. Seems like an incredible woman, and yeah, I'm sure that Strat's mom will be very proud of him. Oh, nice little bit of a synthy vocoder-ish stuff happening there at the end, with the musical theme following us out. Good job, Strat. Good job. 2 more tracks to go though. It's a great time with this album. I'm not gonna lie. Unconditional still.
I love you. I apologize, my lady. I ain't seen you in a while. Ain't been keeping our blade sharp. Ain't been crafting our style.
Nice callback to Katana Mantra.
What our dreams of greatness been in the now. Ain't been training, ain't been lifting, ain't been running my miles. Why would I doubt you and me when you the only thing that make me smile? Why would I try to go normal, go civilian when you always been by my side? When it's just me and you on them lonely nights when everybody's
I'm not sure why we got so much focus on the low end. Is it to contrast what we have with Moms? I expected us to get rid of that low end in the choruses.
Get up, let's hit the throttle. Let's get the moving for real before time run out. Let's level up and be what we supposed to be. Be ourselves.
Cool.
Fuck what they talking about.
Get that I like as well.
And I'm lost. You always come back to me and say, hey Strat, this is you. This is your identity. How long I've been with you? So pick yourself up and do what you do. To thy own self be true. In the clouds will clear away. Sunshine, sky blue.
I like the faintness of these high sort of melodic elements in the pads and amongst like the depth of the bass and everything like that. It's almost like he's going through a really loud kind of difficult time, but there's this person trying to reach out above to pull him up from the darkness.
Truly, I'm thankful I cherish the ups, the downs, the pursuit, the blood, sweat, and tears, the journey of this marriage. As a kid, watching all the rap stars on the TV, they were who I wanted to be.
Okay.
What a trip. Now, that's about to be me. I confess though, lately, yo, I ain't been that productive. I've been lacking motivation, yo, I've been self-destructive, self-sabotaging, anticipation, and maybe fearful of all the bright lights. Let me snap out of it and get back to building like construction. You my everything, forever I'm cuffing. The matrimony real, how I feel. This I know, my heart I spill. Through the pain I caused you, through it all, can't believe you are here still. The matrimony real, how I feel.
So are they married now? Like, are they actually married now? Or are they? Do they think that they're marriage material? It's a nice way to finish development because the next track is a screwed and chopped version of Cadillac on a Sunday Morning, which I'm not sure if there's additional content for the story from that. But I think it's nice to appreciate that after all this time trying to find a wife, he may have finally found one, just to accept who he was. After all the kind of the difficulties that were in between start and now, and not counting the stuff beforehand, it's been a really good time to hear out Strat's story, his journey, and I've enjoyed listening to it for the most part. I didn't always agree with some of the musical decisions, like with Katana Mantra. I just couldn't really get a good feel of the groove of where the track started and ended, or where each section started and ended. And while I appreciate we're doing something a little more experimental, avant-garde with that, or maybe it's more common in hip-hop and rap nowadays, and I just haven't listened to a lot of that. That's basically it, though. It's a subjective thing. There's nothing, like, technically wrong with it. We just got Cadillac on a Sunday Morning now, the last track for today. I'm wondering what we're going to do in the extra just under a minute, because the original was 3:17, right? I got some turntablism in there.
Now my closet full, but my heart empty. Oh, so low. Ride the lag, baby. Work my day job.
Okay, we're slowing it down a little bit.
When I rap, baby, striving to flip this thing big. No more sip vodka, no more sip Henny. Grind right, and I'm growing. Progress, developments of movements. Love by few, hated by many.
Why did we do this? Like, I don't have an issue with it being on the album, and I think I've listened to a bit of this kind of stuff before. It sounds great for it. It's just, why did we Why is this on the album though? Is it just because it's a different version of one of the main tracks off it, I suppose? Wouldn't make... Yeah, that's probably what it is.
Recently, not how it was, digging out the mud, finding myself, journey, the ups and downs is meant to be found. I'm just rolling in the Cadillac on a Sunday morning. I'm just rolling in the Cadillac on a Sunday morning. I'm just rolling in the Cadillac.
Like, is this quite common in a lot of albums nowadays, like mainstream ones as well as this, or? Like, what I mean is like massive artists do, like massive hip hop artists and rap artists do this kind of stuff as well.
Too. Nobody's we all sinners, no human better than the next. Everybody's soul is swerving in today's climate. Anybody, and I mean anybody, could hurt you and have evil lurking. Even preacher man, a preacher.
I mean, like, it's a fun change to what we had before. It's a lot more low heavy. It sort of sounds like this kind of mixed and modulated, warped vocal line. And having those kick samples a little bit extra, a little bit longer, makes them really kind of powerful.
I'm more comfortable riding my lap with the windows down, nice weather, wheel turning.
Not an instant attack to those kicks either.
Music blaring, songs of my own thoughts. I'm submerged in every morning.
I like the songs of my own thoughts I'm submerged in line. I think that's great. Yeah, sometimes you get wound up in your own head and you get mesmerized by it. It can be a blessing or a curse.
Affirmations in a few Bible verse. I talk to the Lord every day. I testify. If you have faith, prayer stays working. I'm just rolling in the Cadillac on a Sunday morning. I'm just rolling in the Cadillac on a Sunday morning. I'm just rolling in the Cadillac on a Sunday morning. Rolling in the Cadillac on a Sunday morning. Rolling in the Cadillac on a Sunday morning. Rolling in the Cadillac.
I think we tried to keep a lot of the original while having this screwed and chopped version. It's nice to get a bit more intense with the scratching at this point. It's cool. It's cool. I'm not really sure why we needed it on the album, but you know, I think at the same time, you know, having that as kind of a reconfiguring of Cadillac on a Sunday morning, especially if Cadillac on a Sunday morning is like one of the singles that got released, makes a lot of sense because you're adding another version of it for people to appreciate that's new from what they previously had. You know, so yeah, this is my review. Why did I do this when I didn't say the conclusion? This is a conclusion for my review of Dvlpmnt by Strat, which was a 14-track album released by Stratland Entertainment LLC. One thing I heard from Strat is that I've never heard anything like him, and I don't think I haven't heard anyone like Strat. Strat's got his own vibe that he goes through, showcased throughout this album. While there's obviously influences from like 90s hip hop, like West Coast stuff, and sort of more contemporary trap production elements there, and all these other kind of things like soul and some funky bits and stuff. I'll be honest, like these different influences come into something that's really special. I like the story of Dvlpmnt as an album, where we go through Strat's time after he's recovered from his alcoholism. He's trying to find his sense of purpose in the world, figure out whether he wants to just be like a pimp or like find himself a wife, and he goes through that difficulty and struggle, and he exhibits some self-destructive behavior as he mentions. And on a Sunday morning, his Cadillac, he tries to find his own thoughts, and he eventually has a sort of like an occurrence where he realizes, hey, maybe I should like make a decision on this, you know. and he realizes, oh, there's actually someone that does mean that much to me in my life, and then he eventually gets to talk to him in like unconditional, I think. And he also realizes how much his mom has helped him, which is what the song Mom is about. I think it's a beautiful story that works really well. It's easy to follow. There's little references to previous and past tracks here, which is really clever and really well thought out. I get the feeling this may have been written chronologically, as in like he wrote intro first and Pin Out the Serpents. I think it's a really smart way of doing it, because it comes more of it encourages the listener to listen through the whole damn thing, you know? And I'm not upset or anything. What I mean is that like often people will release albums and they'll just be 14 individual ideas. And it's like, oh, so people are going to listen to that one idea because they like it, and then the other tracks don't get a listen. What Strat's done is he's kind of giving you an incentive to listen through the whole thing, because he's kind of encouraging you to facilitate that time by giving you this is 58 minutes, just under an hour. You've got an hour spare today. Listen through this, enjoy it. And I really hope people do listen to this album, because I think that Strat with Dvlpmnt has got himself an absolute banger. You know, again, we've discussed the story there. The way the story was told by Strat was awesome, you know. We had some modulated clean vocals, most of it was rapping. We had some sort of like some pitch shifted stuff as well occasionally. Some chanting bits as backing vocals in there. We even had some talking bits where he like spoke, like I think it was in Serpents where he spoke directly to us, when at the start it sounded like he was talking to himself. I think it's really clever. There's a lot of range there, which I think is important for an album. If you just rap throughout the entire thing, while it can be incredible, you know, you can have change. You know, you can have different bits to keep it exciting and give it that little bit of extra X factor. You know what I mean? And the structuring of each of the tracks in which the stories were told is for the most part, I think it was like verse chorus verse chorus. You had some interludes there occasionally, you had some spoken bits, you had some instrumental parts as well where things would just kind of chill at start and finish. But obviously it was more vocal oriented, and I think that's great. Some little bits of Foley occasionally with Pin Out, where you had like the explosion at the end. And some sort of samples as well here and there. We had lots of drums, bass, guitar, pad strings, organs, and other fun elements in there that I really appreciate, as well as some vocal modulation that made it more instrumental. And some vocoder stuff happening. Lots of cool musical ideas. Each track had its own unique identity. And there was lots of range in the types of musical motifs that we had there. We had really sort of laid back, somber tracks. We had really bombastic ones, like with Scandocious. Serpents, you know, a little bit more sort of trippy and kind of like uncomfortable. Katana Mantra was very experimental and kind of out there, at least in my opinion. I wasn't expecting it, but I kind of like it because of that. It was definitely something different. Mom's was a lot more wholesome, with like warmer, sort of more positive, major elements to it. And of course we had the screwed and chopped version of Cadillac on a Sunday morning, which is that more sort of like turntablism, sort of centered, kind of manipulated, warped kind of vibe to it, which I appreciate as well. Now I understand why it's there now. It's going to kind of include the various elements that Strat appreciates in an album. I think it's a really fine balancing act, but I think that Strat managed to nail it. Finally, the recording, mixing, and mastering was sensational. I really appreciated the production quality overall. I know there were times where I was like, oh, that bass guitar and intro was a bit loud, but I think it's just because we allowed there for there to be dynamic range. It's not like it overpowered the rest of the elements of the mix. It was just, it's not all the same volume, which I actually appreciate a lot. I think it's great that we had that, again, that dynamic range there for instruments and vocals to sound human. Lovely stereo panning there. The EQing and filtering instruments was absolutely top tier. You know, the effects change on the various parts were great. Limiting compression was there as well, but a sidechaining in there to keep the kick punchy and stuff like that. And all in all, I'm very, very happy with this album. I'm glad I had the opportunity to review it and listen to it from start to finish. Hopefully Strat is doing well for himself now. It sounds like, because I've learned a lot about Strat in this album. Hopefully they're doing well and are in a better place now, and I wish them the best luck. With not only their future endeavors, but their life story, you know? Hopefully there's lots of positive, happy stuff to come, and you find yourself a wife if you haven't already. But thank you very much for watching this review of Strat's Dvlpmnt, an album which I thoroughly enjoyed and appreciate. I'm going to give that a little heart on Spotify, actually. I don't usually do that, but I really can't fault this one aside from the little nitpicks I have. Hopefully you understand. And if you enjoyed this album, please do go show Strat some love via his various social medias and Spotify page. Stay cool and stay safe, and please also remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as they need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I will catch you in the next review. Spiderhands out.